Well, good afternoon. I am Dr. Jerry Dreessen. We're going live today, our Thursday live, and I want to welcome those of you that are viewing. And feel free to punch in, take a looking at your comments. Feel free to drop those in as well. We've had a pretty busy week since our last broadcast. Those of you that were part of that, what I want to do is go through our presentation that we did last week, kind of a combination of the last two presentations. So let me get that pulled up here. And we had the unfortunate event with one of our practitioners that's a member contact their local board as far as the restrictions that were being laid down on them. And there's been a big change in at least 3 states. And it's all about our, the regulatory compliance thing that's going on. And there are states that have the veterinary boards or the governing boards for animal livestock have determined PEMF to be veterinary medicine. And I don't understand it. And after last week's broadcast, I thought, what is going on here? Why is this so different? And again, it's not like you can't use PEMF on animals. You can do that. So you can take your PEMF device, you can put it on your animal, and if there's another animal right next to it that's not yours, but the owner of that animal is right there, and they said, yes, please use it on my animal. As soon as you take it from what you're doing here and you move it over 12 inches over on the other animal, you are now in violation of their regulation, which means that you cannot put it on another animal. And now by doing that, PEMF has now gone from a personal system to veterinary medicine in a movement of 12 inches. And this doesn't make any sense to me. And so we're out there doing things. We're trying to have some discussions with these people. But again, the boards themselves, I haven't had this experience, but this comes from other people in our ALPP group where they're kind of combative as far as not wanting to talk to us. And that doesn't make any sense. I mean, how can you build a bridge and come to an agreement with the other side just slamming the door? And again, we want to reach out and have talks with everybody. I think it has to do with ignorance on what PEMF is. That's what it all boils down to, and that it's not a medical device. It's not like a TENS unit. It's not a shocking system. In the animal world, we refer to as like a massage. It helps improve blood circulation. It increases the circulatory system. So it doesn't make more blood. It doesn't increase blood flow. It helps with blood flow. It has a lot of great properties. And again, to be calling it a piece of medicine is, kind of a hard thing. Hey, Dr. Rob, good to see you. And then also we have, and Melissa, yes, 100% ignorance. I agree. And I don't know if they had some people come to them at the board meeting saying, you're going to shut these people down. And so we're not going to deal with this. We're just going to make this big change. And I created a little headline here. Stop using PEMF fine. And because that's exactly what they did, is they said, anybody in Oklahoma, in Missouri, or Nebraska, you've probably already seen this. And there was a practitioner that talked to the Oklahoma board, and she was told explicitly that using PEMF in the state of Oklahoma is considered veterinary medicine. So she was also told that they have investigators out looking and reporting any violations, and that practitioners will be prosecuted. Now, what that means, we don't know what that means. It's like, don't do that. Or are they going to fine them? And if they do, how do they go about fining them? Do they send them a letter saying, pay this bill? A lot of this is so brand new. We're even looking at it like, well, how's this even going to exist? Do they send the vet police in there and everybody comes in and they unplug your gear and haul it away? It doesn't make any sense. And so, again, we're reaching out, and I agree with Melissa that it is 100% ignorance. And a lot of times that's what it is, because, again, like I said at the beginning here, if I had a device and I had it on, let's say my dog on their hip, and then the neighbor's dog was right there, and I asked the neighbor, I said, how you doing? Hey, my dog's got a hip problem too. Can we try and see what happens? It's like, yeah, I would love to help your animal out. And so I just lift this up and I just set this down, and then the door pops open, and it's a investigator reporting my violation now, because I am now using PEMF as veterinary medicine. So that's the illogical loop that's weird on there. And we've got on a good note, the Montana Vet Board is not interested in things. On a good source, they're not interested in things that promote animal health and welfare. Well, yeah, now you're on that other slippery slope, Melissa, of why would you promote wellness care? For humans too, right? The whole medicine side is about sickness care versus wellness care, and there's at least in the medicine side, there's a lot of doctors that are waking up, realizing that health should be all about wellness, not about waiting until you're sick. So preventative care is part of it too. So anyways, that's kind of my morning initial broadcast here, but let's move forward with some of the other things that I want to talk about. And like, as I was saying, we're reaching out to these regulatory boards. We want to have a discussion, and there is a dialogue that needs to be made, but we need to start out with a common ground, and trying to get that common ground is what can be tough. Sammy says, I was told yesterday by another practitioner that there was a Chihuahua who had a session from a rented machine that was turned up too high that broke the dog's neck. Apparently a big reason why PEMF is on the radar. Could be a rumor, but interesting. I've never seen that nor heard that. And again, if that is true, let's get together on that, Sammy, and find out, because we can't be spreading rumors like that. But again, that's why training is all important. Somebody who just takes a machine and goes, I know, I've seen this done, and they put it on somebody or on an animal, not knowing. Our international organization is all about education. And so that's why we want to approach the board saying, we're educating these people and we're certifying them so that they have proper knowledge on the protocols and uses for that too. And we definitely want to investigate things like this with a rented machine with no protocol. I totally disagree with that practice, and definitely worth looking into. And again, even in my own practice, on humans, when I'm using it, I have protocols. I have things that we do beforehand. So there's the pre-event where I interview them, find out, again, are they wearing any electronic stuff? Anything internally? What's their health history? What area are we treating and why? And, there's certain things that we do and what we don't do. In fact, we're going to be covering the 5 W's of PEMF in a series after this, the who, what, when, where, why, and how. And one of them is what you don't do. There's what you do, but then there's also what you don't do. And for me, like when I'm working on people's low backs, to know their health history, if they've got a herniated disc from a whiplash from 8 years ago that no longer bothers them, we got to know that if we're going to be applying PEMF. Down in the low back, if they have an old healed, injury, a disc injury, those are important. We've had, those of you that have been members for a while know that we've had these discussions as far as what to do with a herniated disc. And I had a chiropractor after I educated him and said, do not touch the machine. It needs to be on low. He, without me knowing it, went and turned the machine up a little bit because it felt better. But what he ended up doing was contracting the muscles around the disc, and it caused the hernia, the herniated disc, to irritate. And he was in worse pain later that night. And he told me why. And it's like, why did you do that? He goes, because I thought more was better. And we all know that's not the truth when it comes to this. So anyways, we're reaching out to especially these 3 states, trying to get some sort of a conversation going where we can approach them saying, okay, what is your concern with what is going on for people that are educated? And that's kind of where we're starting from. Again, if you go to our website now, we've got links on these 3 states as far as what their code is saying. And as we learn more from other states, we'll get them up there too. But those are available to look at, especially if you are a member. You can log in and see these. If you're not a member, you can use these links, but you'll only get to, I think it's only 2 out of the 3, or you'll get to view it twice, or pull one of the 2 up to take a look at. But again, that's part of our membership, which is really peanuts when you think about it in the long term. And what we're doing is we're using your money when you become a member to go out and do these things. We're kind of a shoestring group. We're not something where we've got a huge grant. We are in existence because of our membership. So the more that we get to join, the better, because that helps us doing things like this. And this is what you're seeing right now is something that we had thought would come into existence more than 10 years ago. And so we founded and started the AOPP to be in a position of being able to reach out like we're doing right now. We knew that this day would come where out of ignorance, people would be like locking things up. It's like, well, until we know better, this is what we want to do. And I've seen this happen with other products too. I know infrared kind of started out that way, but again, it's just as Melissa was talking about, it is, I think, more ignorance than knowledge. Because if they knew really what this was all about, they would be, let's help as many as we can. But then again, as Melissa was saying too, and I kind of agree. It's like, why do we want our livelihood taken away from us if we're all about sickness care, when it should be all about wellness care? And then Sammy is asking, any luck from the boards yet? No, not yet. We've just begun. I mean, this is only a week old for us, reaching out. So I am working with Lauren on that too. So that's kind of what our February to do is to try and get some sort of communication established. So what you can do, if you haven't already, is sign the petition. So we have a petition that's out there as of yesterday, 685 signatures. So it might have jumped up since then. And the great thing about this is it's a groundswell. So we're definitely getting more and more people jumping on board, and it's all about you and the things that you've done to help out. We've got a link that will provide, this is a if you want to copy this screenshot and type it in, but it's, change.org/p/ and then request for reconsideration, clarify the distinction between PEMF and veterinary medicine is the link that we created. There's a QR code, so if you are seeing this on your screen other than your phone, if you want to grab a copy of this, then it's a direct link for that. Again, who we're trying to send this petition to is the Oklahoma Veterinary Board President, Gary Lenneberg, and the Missouri Veterinary Medical Board, Dana K. Fenwald, and the Nebraska Board of Veterinary Medicine and Surgery, and then the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services, Timothy A. Tesmer, MD, Chief Medical Officer. And again, if you know vets in your area who know these people, if you happen to know them, but again, if you have a chance to approach them, do it out of care. Don't try and slam them or anything. That's not what it's about. Again, they're coming from their position, from what they've been told and what their knowledge is. And we're coming from our position and our knowledge, which currently is totally different ends. And we have to find some kind of common ground to come together for the PEMF summit, I guess, where we all come together. We need a Camp David for PEMF, I think. I was looking at some of the comments here. And yeah, I think what saying anything that stirred a pot. I guess one of the things that non AOPP or practitioners or people that have businesses using PEMF, what they're noticing and what we're hearing is that some people that either are educated or those that are just starting out are saying things and using PEMF in a way that isn't, I guess, considered best practices, which is what we want to make sure is happening. So if you're out there and you're working on animals and you're working on humans, just please, I don't want to say this, but kind of stay inside your lane and don't jump outside of that, saying things that you don't have the background or the backup as far as research for. Those are some of the main things. And again, we should all work together is the bottom line. So back to what we're talking about here. Again, here's signing the petition. When you go sign the petition, you can also leave comments, and that'll help out others as far as reaching out and what's going on. You can even go in here and you can like other people's. You can share their responses too. So again, you can grab these things and we can start a groundswell. I mean, like I said, we've already got 685 signatures, so that's enough to kind of be the nidus of this whole movement. We also have being able to contact the local vets on our behalf and ask them if there are vets that you work with that are pro PEMF and they love what you're doing, just say, hey, can you help us out by contacting your vet board in those 3 states. A lot of them, they are like, yeah, we're totally for you. There's been livestock organizations that are very pro PEMF, and everything that you're doing is in alignment with what they want, and that's that education mindset that we're trying to transfer over. There is contacting your clients, and again, there's 685 that's already said yes. If you can imagine, if each one of those got 10 more, we would really have a great hockey puck or hockey stick moment as far as growing things. And again, we do have an email letter that you can send, and kind of like what Ashley's saying here too is we don't want to stir the pot. I agree. Put a target on your back. I agree. We've been kind of working under the radar, but then, honestly, what is going to happen? Or is this just a small little blip and then it's going to be over with and then off we go? Or is this a moment where, we've already got some businesses in 3 states that are being shut down because of this. Their whole livelihood got turned off because of what's going on. And, what can we do to move this forward? Usually, I think, honestly, that this whole statement that was made earlier, investigators looking and reporting any violations and practitioners would be prosecuted. How much of that is just a veiled threat versus there's actually a person that's out there doing that? And if they were to go out, I can't imagine there being more than just one person, because that would be, paid, volunteering to go out. They would have to have a big chip on their shoulder, but I imagine they would be going to large events and saying, "Hey, who are you? What are you doing? Do you know that you're in violation of code, whatever that is?" Let's grab the 3. There we go. Like Nebraska is the admin code 325. It's kind of blurry. I can't see it. But then again, and if you say, yes, I know that, then it's like, well, here's your fine. I don't understand, if that's set up or they just thought, well, we'll just make this blanket statement and then that should keep people quiet. How far are they going to be going on these things? But again, leave comments. We've got the letter. And I would say to be able to send these out in those states would be the first thing. And I don't know if they know how big we are and how many PEMF practitioners there are that the stroke of their pen just shut down, all of those businesses. So the letter can be sent to any vet board and each sender needs to edit it as far as the recipient and sender. It's important for importance. Oh, I got a typo. It's very important for all PEMF practitioners to get involved to help stop overreaching regulations. So again, is this a prophylactic thing that we're doing where we're sending these letters so that if there ever was a decision, they've already been educated so they know? And, do all of the pots need to be stirred now so that these decisions aren't made without them having that knowledge? AOPP members, there's a link for you where you can download this letter. In the lower part here, there's another one for those of you that aren't members. But again, the links will be provided in Facebook on this live broadcast afterwards. Again, to sign the petition, you can go there, scan this QR code. Please, as many people as we can sign this. That's one of our tools that we have, as well as the letter. And also, if you haven't seen, we've been talking about this back in December. We were in the process, and now we have our new website. So moving into another part of our talk today, the AOPP now has launched their newest version of the website. One of the things I talked about with those petitions or these links that we have are now on our website too. And you just go underneath education and there's the PEMF regulations, and that's where you'll see those pages. And then also you'll see the updates as far as what's going on. And so you can click and view details. So this is a really good place to come and see what's going on. If you have any information regulations that we can use, definitely send us the link to that as well. Again, I will end our talk today. I want to thank you for those of you that are watching live and those that participated. Dr. Campbell and Melissa and Sammy and Ashley, thank you so much for jumping in. And yes, we will be. That's the goal now, is to have a live every Thursday at this time. So be on the lookout for it. But again, if you aren't able to set up live, we've got it recorded, so you can always jump in and watch the recording of it too. You've got Melissa, thank you. She sent it to her, sent the letters to her board. That's great. And that's what we want. If each one of you could do that, I mean, if you can imagine 685 letters going out in addition, that would be great. And again, thank you so much for all of your time. You can like and share, especially this broadcast. Send it out to everybody so that they can see it. Hi, Alicia. In and out of the conversation. Yep, because of work. Thank you for jumping on, though. And I'm glad that you are part of this conversation as well. Our organization is growing. We're in 17 countries. We've got over 1,000 members. We would love to have, I mean, put a zero on the end of that. Wouldn't it be great to have 10,000 members, and that we have a pretty good pulse on what's going on in the PEMF world, and that we are able to educate everybody so that we don't see these kinds of problems that are happening. And the so yes, being affected in Montana, and it's really important. So again, if you guys can, use this video as a teaching tool, grab pieces of it and, grab a chunk of it and put it on your TikTok and for your PEMF company. And you're welcome to do that. Help spread the word. And again, for us, you can share. We're on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. We have our blog. You're welcome to use anything that we have, that we send out publicly, and be in contact. Again, the more of your local vets that are pro PEMF that you can get involved and have them help you out with these kinds of things, because they don't want to be the only ones using PEMF. Some of them don't use it at all, and they really appreciate and love the things that you're doing. So let's make this be a positive movement, and again, sign the petition. And thank you again for all of your time. If you're not a member, now is the best time to become one. Whether you have a PEMF machine or not, you can go to the website and check that out, and become a member, learn about PEMF, become certified for animals, large or small animals. For humans, we have infrared, so we have those certification programs that you can use. And then you can also, just like on the upper right hand corner of this video, you can become a member and have that displayed on your website as well. If you have any more questions, any tips, then please send them our way. And looks like Missouri Horse Council, she thinks this is ridiculous. I hope, meaning like shutting down PEMF practitioners is ridiculous, as what it sounds like what you're saying. And I agree. Let's see here. And then, PEMF Con, we are in the process of putting another one together. We haven't locked down a date yet, and we would love to have everybody come and be a part of that. Again, that's one of the things that we want to do as an international organization, is to help teach things that we've got going on here too. So again, thanks to those of you that are with us live and send in comments. Appreciate that. And we will be we're set up next week to start our 5-part series on the who, what, when, where, why, and how. I guess that's a bonus. But if we find out that we're getting more information on this, we may postpone that. So we will see. So with that, thank you so much and have a great rest of your day. And I will see you next week. Take care.